For years, I've been seeing these interchangeable welcome door signs for your front door, and I've always wanted to make it, but I never have. And the reason for that is I've never owned a laser cutter that could cut big enough round. Now that I own the xTool P3 that has an extremely large flatbed, I am finally able to make them. But here is the best part, the icing on top, is that I also have the EufyMake UV printer. So not only am I going to be able to now cut my own wood rounds, but also I'm going to be able to print my designs on wood using the EufyMake UV printer, skipping a whole step I actually cannot stand. Now remember, I have never made one of these signs before, and we are going to make it together, or at least I hope so, because I got a little problem. I only have a single piece of wood. So if we mess up at any point in time during this project, we're screwed. Now I'm going to take that back. You didn't hear that. Let's scratch that, because we are not going to put any of that energy out there. What we are going to think about is that this right here is going to turn out amazing on the first try. Do you think it's going to happen? So the first thing that we got to do is we got to cut this bad boy down, because this thing right here does not fit on here. So I have to cut my wood round on the xTool P3 first, and then we're going to use the EufyMake UV printer to print, and hopefully we got a good project when we're done. Let's go. If you've never played with a laser before, just know that every single laser that you own, no matter if it's this big boy right here or a smaller one right here, it has to be vented out of some sort of air filtration system or go out of a window. I am going to use the xTool P3 venting out of a window because I don't have the industrial air filter that xTool sells. I think putting it out of a window is just sufficient. So let me set that up real quick. I love that the xTool P3 comes with this rolling cart, because it definitely makes rolling this back and forth super easy and user-friendly. And I always put all of the venting stuff just down here underneath the table. Not glamorous. Laser cutting machines, I don't think is like the most aesthetically pleasing piece of equipment, but definitely very versatile in the things that it can create. All right, almost done setting this up. Now you definitely don't have to disassemble the vent every single time you're done playing with it. I just like to, because the vent at the back of the machine sticks out, I don't know, about like this many. It's this many. I don't know. It sticks out about like 4 or 5 inches. So then the entire machine has to stick out. My room isn't as big as what you think it is. I did do a whole craft room tour in a previous video that I will link for you. So if you were curious on my setup, I don't really have a very big craft room. So any extra space that I can get, I always like to just make sure that I get my extra inches back. So it is like, you know, it pulls out so far. So I just disassemble everything when I'm done using it, just so I can get my inches back. Okay, so back over here at the xTool P3, what I need to do is plug it in. I always unplug it when I'm done using it. And then we're going to turn it on the back. It's going to start setting up. It doesn't take very long for the setup process to happen, which is great. And then over at the computer, while we wait for that to get started, what we're going to do is we are going to open up the xTool Studio software, and then we are going to come over here into New Project. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over from my F2 to my P3. It automatically connects because it is set up via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or whatever it is. And so it's already connected. You can see that it is ready to go right here. I do have it on in automatic mode. So that's going to be the funnest part about this, is I'm going to be able to show you how automatic the system is. But the first thing that we have to do is import the SVG file that I have created. If you are interested in creating this with me, this right here is a file that is found within my cardstock warehouse, Celebration Warehouse. I have a bunch of shed-free glitter cardstock and plain cardstock, but also I have some really cool SVG files that just get you to crafting a lot quicker, which is something that I love. Crafting should be frustration-free. So I've dragged and dropped the SVG file that's found within my cardstock warehouse into the xTool Studio software, then heading over to the xTool. All you have to do is open the lid. It does a whole lot of beeping, which I don't know why. I can't figure out how to get the beeping to stop, but at the very top, you're going to see this green light. Okay, that means that it is on auto mode and it's like just reading what's going on here. Okay, I'm going to move a grate to the very left, another grate to the very right. Some people, when you unbox these, they think that you're supposed to get a grate for every single thing. While I do think that that would be great if they did give you a grate for every single one of these, technically you're supposed to go every other one. So I'm just going to extend these out just so it will accommodate my entire piece of wood. All right, good enough, like that. Okay, so now we're going to take my only one piece of wood that I have. We're not going to mess this up, friends. All right, making sure that it lays nice and flat. All right, you can tell like here it's not laying nice and flat. So if you're having any issues with things laying flat, what you can do is use these like things. They're called, I don't know what they're called actually. I would say that they're like clamp down pieces, and you just hook them onto your like this, like that, okay? And then you can clamp this part down to your piece of wood. The bow, I've decided, isn't that bad, so I'm not going to do it. Everything else seems to lay flat. I'm just going to leave it the way that it is. Okay, I do want to show you this green light situation because a lot of people get hung up with this when it comes to the xTool P3. The automation mode, a lot of people complain that the automation mode isn't really automated, or they're getting like really weird. The camera is saying it's somewhere, but it really isn't that, and they get some weird cuts. Here is the process when it comes to the automation mode, okay? You're going to see that this is red, all right? I'm going to lay this into my bed, and I'm going to move my arms. I'm going to wait for the light to turn green, and then I am going to shut the lid in a fluid motion. Not too fast, not too slow. And then the machine, or I guess the software, see how it automatically took a picture? The machine is doing its like readings and stuff like that. Okay, good to go. That is how you would ensure that you have really good, like a really good snapshot, is you just make sure that you wait for that light to turn green and then you shut the lid in a fluid motion. Not too fast, not too slow. The first couple times you may need, to get to, what am I trying to say? You may have to like find the motion in like, your fluid motion. So for the first couple times you may mess up, but you'll notice when I would put in my pieces of acrylic or whatever, I would know that it was messed up because it would look very weird angled, like a wide angle type situation, and it's supposed to look nice and flat. So if what you see on the screen doesn't look like what we have in the machine, then obviously you're going to want to redo the process. How to redo the process is open the lid, move your material, wait for the light to turn green, and then shut the lid. So I would not try and do a cut if you know that the alignment or the photo, the snapshot, is not in a correct position. So I am just going to put my SVG file over to the top right, just so I can conserve on material. I can see the very edge of my wood piece right here. This wood piece, I don't know if I told you this, but this wood round is going to be just shy of 16 inches, 16 by 16. That's gonna be a decent wood sign, I feel. 16 by 16, like my full chest area. I feel like that's a good wood sign. I didn't actually look to see like how big we should make these, but 16 inches, I feel like a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna select both of these. I'm gonna come over here to cut. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over here to unknown material and just click on that. And I believe this is 1/8 inch basswood plywood. I probably should have taken a measurement, but I didn't. So I'm just gonna do this one setting, and fingers crossed I picked some really good settings, because I don't know. And I could do a test cut, and or a test grid, and I could do all this stuff, but I like to live on the edge of my seat. Okay. All right. So we're going to press apply. The settings automatically get updated over here on the right. I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to hope that it actually knows what it's doing. When that is done, I'm going to cut both. The full circle on the left is going to be the backer that is going to hold all the interchangeable pieces, and the stuff on the right is the stuff that I am going to print on and decorate with the EufyMake UV printer. So we are going to come over here into process, and I want to make sure and turn my inline fan on, so that's going to get turned on, but this is going to take a total of 1 minute and 40 seconds. 1 minute and 41 seconds. This machine is by far the fastest laser that I have ever owned, which is amazing. So we are going to press start here. All right, this machine beeped. First thing that you have to do is turn on your inline fan. You could set it up via Bluetooth. I don't. I always just set my inline fan up to the highest, like, max capacity. I don't like a whole lot of smoke that, you know, if you do a slower fan speed, it sucks slower. I don't want that. I want it to go straight out my window. So turn my fan on. It's going to get loud in here. When that's done, at the top of the machine is a button. You just want to press the button at the top of the machine, and you're going to let this thing do its cuts. Now, the cool thing about the xTool P3 is going to be the camera, which I absolutely find is the coolest part. Outside of it being everything is automated. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, if you had a larger piece of wood, you could have totally done the conveyor feeder and made an even larger, like, circular round. I only have this one piece of wood. It conveniently fit. Whoa, that was close. I just watched that almost do a miscut. Woo! Well, I'm going to show you how close we got to the very edge of that. But anyway, you could, if you have a larger piece of wood, you could do the conveyor feeder. Conveyor feeder is super easy to set up. I did do a tutorial on how to use the conveyor feeder. It's honestly so much easier than the original P2 conveyor feeder. So nice, so user friendly. Okay, we got 31 seconds remaining, and we were definitely living on the edge with how I set this up. And I feel like this is a very decently sized wood sign. That round right there, I feel like that's a good size round. All right, we are good to go. Now, before you open up the lid, because this will tell you technically it's ready to open up right now. But what you want to do is monitor the smoke that's inside your P3. If your P3 is smoky, just leave your inline fan on and let it let it suck out all of the smoke. Then what I want you to do is just turn off the inline fan, and we are going to open the hatch. All right, and remember what I said, we lived on the edge. Over here to the very right, look how close we got to the edge. Hold on. Do you see that? Woof. We were close, my friends. Close, close, close. Okay, so this is going to be the backer board. This is what I am going to put magnets on, all that jazz, put a hanger so I can hang it on my door. This is going to be the top piece, the middle, and the bottom. All right, and it's just all going to be interchangeable, just like that video that I showed you. Just like that. It's gonna look fabulous when we're done. Okay, so technically we are done with the xTool P3. So if you wanted to, you can turn this sucker off. All right, so now's the fun part. Paint, I should say. So we have the large flatbed for the EufyMake UV printer. I have this, what I would like to call the forever mat, because it is protecting that consumable Cricut-like mat at the bottom. Then what we're going to do is, I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit all three pieces on the large flatbed, but we're going to put one on and two. Ooh, I can print two at one time. This one right here, I'm going to have to print. I'm not going to print on this, plus it won't even fit. But I can't fit two of these on my bedside. So I'm going to only do two. But what I want to do is make sure these are nice and straight on the bed. So the Forever Mat has these things, and what they are is like little silicone things like this. Okay, they hook into the holes of the silicone mat. So I'm just going to go one like that. but I want to make sure that it is the same. There's like these, you know, I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you, but there's these numbers 7 and 3. Okay, hold on. Do you see how these right here have numbers on the top and the bottom? I'm not entirely sure what they mean. Don't ask me. I didn't read the directions when I got this forever mat. They were just like, the people that made these, they were like, Ashley, you're going to love this. And I said, okay, I'll test it out. Sure enough, they were right. I do love it. Do I know what this is? The actual name for it? Do I know what these are? No. Can't say that I do. And I don't think I care either because it just works. Call it the forever mat. Okay, so I'm just going to put these little silicone things in the holes. You want to make sure that it's going to be nice and straight so you don't have to do like any type of alignment things. So this is what it looks like, just like this. They look nice and straight. I love it. All right, now let's go and put this in the EufyMake UV printer and start printing. Okay, so my printer, because we are using the large flatbed, we are going to need to pull this out of the wall just so it can go all the way through and not have any issues with printing. So taking out the small bed, there is a forever mat for the small flatbed, but I don't know where it's at, but it clearly was not here. Okay, all right. Oh. We're going to put this into the bed. Lock this bad boy into place. All right. And there it is. I'm going to make sure that everything is nice and straight because, you know, moving it, sometimes you can tend to get things that are not going to be straight. Nice and straight. Looks amazing. All right, so I have actually been playing around with the design here over in Inkscape. So that same SVG file that I created, I uploaded it into Inkscape, and I've been playing around with what I wanted the print to look like. So I'm just going to delete this right here, and the things that I'm going to keep are everything over here because that is what we're going to print. Now I want this right here, but I do not want this black line. So I'm going to remove the stroke. So it's going to look something like this. Let me just make sure I have all the strokes removed from everything because I want it to be remove stroke. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to export this first. So I'm going to come over here into the export, and I only want to do the selection. I want my DPIs. I'm going to put my DPIs up because I want really good high quality stuff. Okay. You will notice that like my print looks a little weird here and like things are hanging off. It's because I didn't want to mess up the SVG file of this Lucky Charm thing, okay? So I'm going to export this as a PNG. Then what we're going to do is go into the EufyMake Studio. We're going to open up a new window, standard flatbed. We're going to press snapshot. Okay, while we're waiting for a snapshot, I'm going to drag and drop my first one into the EufyMake UV printer. I am going to keep it the original size. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees. The reason for that is over here on the EufyMake, we turned it 90 degrees, okay? And actually, it needs to go the other way. This way. It needs to look like this. So that's 270 degrees. Okay, now we have to do the same process that we just did with the other piece. So we're going to work on this one. I'm just going to take that, make sure and remove the stroke from there. I do want a white background. I'm going to select these right here, doing the same thing. Make sure that I have the same DPIs. We're going to export this. This is going to be the middle. Okay, and we're going to press save and then export. Then we'll go back into the EufyMake Studio software, and again, same thing. We're going to drag and drop the second one, making sure that we keep the original size. And this needs to be turned 270 degrees. Not like that. So when you're doing the snapshot with the large flatbed, it does take the longest. So if you can, use the small flatbed for your pieces or any type of material that you're using. I always highly suggest it just because it's so much quicker to use the small one than it is to do the large one. All right, now all we're going to do is we are going to line this up, make sure that it's lined up onto our piece of wood. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I am going to make my ink mode. So I'm going to select both of my pieces, and my ink mode, I want it to be white, CMYK, and gloss. Then what I'm going to do is come over here to unknown material, and I'm going to do wood. Okay, so now that we have that, we are essentially done. We have the right and we have the left. This is what they're supposed to look like when we are done. Also, you can see that everything is lined up perfectly. So if the camera is doing what it's supposed to do, we should have a perfectly aligned sign that's printed. We shall see, my friends. I got some trust issues, so I don't know. Don't hold your breath on this one. So we are just going to press print. I have to replace the scraper and stuff, but I have 2 days to do it, so I'm not going to do that now. So we're just going to just press the continue button. Listen, I don't like doing maintenance. If I don't have to do maintenance, I'm not going to do it. And it said I had 2 days left, and I was like, great, we'll wait another 2 days. Okay, so this is going to take a total of 1 hour and 11 minutes and 50. We might as well just say 1 hour and 12 minutes to do these 2 pieces. I'm okay with that. I know some of you are going to be shocked at the time that it takes. I'm okay with that because essentially what we're doing is we are cutting down the painting process. Cutting the vinyl, if you wanted to use vinyl, that takes time and energy and all of that stuff. I don't have to do anything besides now press print. I am okay with that, okay? So it's going to take a total of 10 milliliters of ink. Each milliliter of ink is roughly 50 cents, give or take. So what is that, like $5? Let me just make sure. 10 milliliters times 50 cents is $5. My math was mathing for me. All right, so 1 hour, $5 of ink. We have one more piece that we have to do, but now let's just press start. This is going to get done doing its prints. It's going to take, remember, 1 hour and 12 minutes. So I will see you back here in 1 hour and 12 minutes, and hopefully we have a really good finished first 2 layers of a sign. So 1 hour and 12 minutes later, and we got something that looks pretty good. Small alignment issues here, but this right here turned out absolutely perfect. Look at that. Look how shiny that is. Oh my gosh. Ooh, it's so cute. This one, however, from afar, I don't think you're going to be able to see it, but up close, do you see that? It's just the smallest little sliver that's right here. So little alignment issues, but I mean, this turned out so good. This is what the first part of the sign's going to end up looking like. Like that. All right, now let's do the top. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to press finish on the Eufy. We are going to go back over into Inkscape, and I need to now export this. So making sure that we're still in the same DPIs, doing the same thing that we did for the other 2 pieces. And then I'm going to go back into my original design that we have here. I'm just going to select both of my pieces and take them out of my rectangle. My rectangle is the working rectangle of the large flatbed. We are going to do another snapshot. So we're going to let the machine take a preview. Oh, I did a snapshot. Ah! Yeah. Hold on here. I want to do a snapshot, but I didn't put the wood in here. I got to put the wood in here. So we are going to put that, I'm just going to butt that up to there. All right, same thing as what we've done before, but remember to put the wood in there. Homing error, that's interesting. Let's press snapshot again and see what happens. All right, that random error did not mean anything because it's working. All right, so we are going to drag and drop the top, keep the original sides. We are going to rotate it 270 degrees. Nope, this time it needs to go the other way. We need to rotate it 90 degrees. Now we're just gonna wait for the machine to get done doing its alignment. Also, we want to make sure and choose the correct print setting. So the same, I'm going to use the same as these two, which is going to be white, CMYK, and gloss. I have to tell you, I think that the colors that we see here on the screen, let me pull up Inkscape. I feel like if you look at these colors, maybe not for you on the screen, but as I'm sitting here looking at this, the colors here are a lot more vibrant than what I have there. Like my green, especially in between these, this is how I can tell. This, like you can really tell and see this clover to the back of my backer here. You can hardly see the green. So, let's look at it from here. This green right here and this green. In the design, you can see it. In the design, you can see it pretty well. In the real thing, I don't know if you can see it all that well. So there's that. I don't think that you're going to be able to really tell and see. I'm hoping that you can't see that white from afar. I know I can now because I know about it. All right, snapshot is done. So we are going to take this and move it over to the other one, just like what we did with the original one. Line it up. Looks good. Okay, now we are going to 6 layers, 1, 1. We did 6 layers, 1, 1, CMYK, white CMYK, gloss. We have white CMYK gloss, 611, looks good. So we're gonna press print, continue. All right, this is gonna take 40 minutes. The other one took an hour and 14. This is 40 minutes with 4 milliliters of ink. Let's just press start. This is going to get done doing its print. So now let's work on some of the assembly. To make this an interchangeable thing, what I have purchased is going to be some really thin magnets that have 3M stick on the back of them. And I'm going to take a set of magnets, so these 2 magnets, and I'm going to put them like this. So the sticky is on one side and the other. I'm going to put this, I should probably start with this bottom one. Let's start with the bottom one first. Okay, I'm going to put them in the corner, the sandwich in the corner. Take 2 more magnets. And I'm gonna put this one in the other corner. Oop, hold on. There we go. Okay, I think for this big one, I'm gonna do 3 in the middle for the long ways. And then I'm gonna do 1, 2. So we're gonna have a few magnets down on them because this one's like really big and I don't want the magnets to I want it to be able to hold, you know what I mean? So it doesn't like fly off if the wind blows. Hopefully I bought enough magnets. We shall see. But, okay, we'll do that. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna peel off all the coverings on my magnets, just like this. Make sure my magnets are nice and centered. And then I'm gonna roll this over. And I'm gonna, oh, no. That's annoying. Try it again. All right, try it again without dropping it. Okay, pushing it down. There we go. I'm gonna let this glue together, okay? So, doing the same thing with this one, same type of process. We're gonna grab a sandwich, 2 magnets, put them together, remove 1 backing. I think I'm only gonna do 3 down the middle. Lay that one on, pressing down. Okay, let's see. Pull this up. Oh, look at it. Put this back down. Pull this up. Look at it. the sign is not even finished yet. And it's already looking really, really good. Can't wait for that top piece. I need to go to the craft store and get some like flowers or something to put on the top of this, but like this is really good. Kind of wish that little thing, can you see that? Can you see that little misalignment that's right there? Please tell me no. Please, please, please. Just lie to me and tell me you can't see that. But I think this is looking really good. So we still have 35 more minutes. I don't want to get a new one. I already have some. We still have 35 more minutes for that. I'm going to run to the craft store and see if I can get some really cute matching floral for this. But I've always wanted to make one, and I finally have, and I think it's turning out really good. The one thing that I love about this printer, among a bunch of things, but let's just talk about this, is that my printer quit printing because I ran out of white ink. So most printers will continue to print even when there's no ink, and so you're left with like a really weird print. Instead, what the Eufy does is say, hey, you're below this. You can continue to print if you want. I'm going to replace the cartridge because I have some and I want a really good print. So all I did was took out my white ink that I had in my cabinet, take out the white that is getting ready to go out, reinstall the new ink, okay? Then what you do is just press play and press restore printing, and now it's going to continue printing. And you see over here on the right where it says the white ink is completely full now. We're good to go. Okay. So you know how we changed out the ink cartridge, right? This is where it stopped. Do you see that little line right here? That must have been exactly about where it stopped and started, which is interesting. Okay. So now the question is do I reprint this or leave it like this? It's just for a holiday. Do I really want to fight that hard to make it 100% here? Let's put it here. Here. We'll put it on the ground and then we can see it from afar. Oh, I think just leaving it is fine. I don't think that we do need to repaint that. If I was selling this, most definitely, I would repaint that because you can see that there is a line right here. You can see it really good in that reflection. There's a line. But now that I know that it looked good, I'm going to put some like florals right here, and maybe I'll just hide that. Florals and some ribbon. But like this sign ended up turning out really good for just whipping it up. You know what I mean? I really do love being the crafting friend that has all the cool tools because I get to make the things that I've always wanted to make and never could. And also do things that I wanted to make and didn't want. And also, what was I trying to say? And also be, have things that that I can make that I never wanted to make before because of projects that I wasn't looking forward to, like painting. Painting to me is one of the worst things that you can do for a craft. So the fact that I now can just have the UV printer paint things for me is like an absolute blessing. I'm only going to do 3 on here with the one on the back. And then just pull these backings off. So the thing is definitely not perfect, right? We have a little bit of an issue of alignment issues here. And then we have this like line situation right here. But I mean, for the most part, this looks really good. And outside of the printer taking 2 hours to print, it didn't take me long to set up and do anything, which I love, right? So, I mean, what did it take? 2 minutes to cut, so I just had to stand around for 2 minutes. I put it in the printer and went and did other things while this was done, while this was printing. So it really didn't take me too long of a time to get this. I think this looks really good. Best believe I'll be making more of these for all the holidays. I love it. All right, y'all. I sure hope I inspired you to create, and I'll see you next time.